from the ThinkFarm, John Peachey. John, kia ora. It's so nice to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. We had a bit of a break with the Easter and all the interruptions. How
Yeah.
dare we have public holidays?
Although Easter's a good enough one to do it, but how do we take the Easter story, the good news of the gospel, and say, hey, young people, here's a great way to transform your life. Having said that, though, 5,000 young people at Northern Easter Camp, well, they seem to be quite into it.
Yes, those are still amazing things, aren't they? I mean, they're legendary, really. When you get 5,000 teenagers together, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I
Yeah,
mean, it is really quite remarkable, and it must be. I guess I hadn't thought about this. I mean, you get 5,000 kids together
yeah,
who are actually behaving and doing things of value. That's got to be a massive statement, really. That should get more publicity. That 5,000 kids got together and they didn't burn a car or tip one over or get
yeah,
drunk or anything else. They
yeah.
were just having fun and worshiping Jesus and getting to know each other. So
And
that's got to be a good news story right there.
yeah, and I think there's some social contagion in that as well. That for the young people from my church that went away and came back, they're all full of stories about how being a follower of Jesus was not only normal, it seemed positively trendy. And hey, the thing is though that we can't just live at Easter camp. This is something that we need to take back into our communities. This is something which we need to communicate to young people. Now, the gospel message, of course, is still the same. Do we need new strategies for a younger generation, John?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I've just been watching a video of a young kid. I mean, I don't know how old he would have been. He'd be 12,
Wow.
maybe,
Yeah.
in the UK, and running an Alpha course in his school. I mean, Alpha's generally been for adults, and,
Yeah.
and when this kid's decided that there were 20 to 30% of his school were Christians, and he wanted, in his own words, he wanted to push those numbers.
Wow.
And so he had some people come run an Alpha course, and I didn't realize I had to do some research on this. Alpha now have a complete youth program,
Hmm.
so they've done it in a youth context using youth communicators, so younger people, and it's having quite a dramatic effect apparently. I think it's really easy to get wrapped up in church politics, about big humans and forget that actually, really, it should be much more about little humans in a lot of ways, and just making sure our kids become the next generation of Christians. There's so much stuff against them right now,
Yeah.
which is heartbreaking. And but the gospel message applies, and statistically, it's what they call the 10-14 window.
Hmm.
You may have heard of that. The vast majority of people get saved between the age of 10 and 14.
Yeah.
And I mean, imagine the troubles that we're saved by getting saved at 10, not having to go through some of the, or having Jesus protect you and walk you through your teenage years. That's got to be a bonus, right? I think. But
Exactly. Although, to be fair, I know for some people, perhaps myself included, I won't get into the details because it's a family show, but seeds sown when between 10 and 14 perhaps fell into the thorns. There were a few distractions in my teenage years, but I made my way back eventually.
I think that happens to a lot of us. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, a lot of kids, probably more than we would understand, are raised in the church and then get to their teenage years, and we probably had the same choices without naming them when we were teenagers, you and I. But I think our current crop of teenagers have just got so much more mud being slung at them
Yeah.
in every which way, and that's the polite version, I think, in every which way. And I often talk about the lies, disrespect to the current media,
Mm.
but the lies that the media tell us in general. And I refer to two big lies that the media tells you. The first one is that what you have is not enough.
Yep.
And that drives you to have a better car, a better piece of clothing, a better whatever, better house, better life. But the biggest lie, which really affects our children, is that who you are is not enough,
Hmm.
and therefore you must change who you are. And then you've got that on one side of the equation. Then you've got Jesus standing on the other side of the riverbank saying, "Actually, I love who you are.
Yeah.
I love as you are, who you've been created as. I love it. It's fantastic. How can I help you grow?" So if we can communicate that message as an anti-message to all the nonsense which is being shoved at our kids at the moment, and parents, and not parents, but adults kind of encouraging the nonsense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite incredible, really. Jesus put such emphasis on children in the Bible. None the least really being the whole idea that we can't come into the kingdom unless we come in like a child.
Yeah.
So there must be some emphasis there that we can learn from the kids and the way that they see things. But this kid in the UK, I mean, I couldn't believe the maturity of this little fella, 12, say about 12 years of age, talking about salvation, talking about the Christian message, talking about the Easter message, and um, I think it was fantastic. So maybe we need to rethink or double down if our churches become about big people stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to not just shove the kids out the back into the handicraft projects.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a bit of handicraft. And hey, it actually reminded me of something which happened many years ago. He has been described as New Zealand's oldest teenager, Winky Pratney. You remember Winky Pratney?
Oh, I do very well. Yeah.
As a teenager, he ran a bit of an evangelism program at Manurewa High School, which wasn't the poshest school in the neighbourhood, I can tell you that, as a graduate of Manurewa High School myself. But actually, significant changes happened. I suppose my question is, have the times changed too much? Have we gone from some seeds falling amongst the thorns to seeds falling on stony ground and being snapped up by the birds, to stick with the metaphor?
Well, there's more birds out there now, I think. That's
Yeah.
the problem, right? It's just there's more trying to pick our kids off and we used to defend our children from all this nefarious things. Now we're saying it's okay to get involved in them. And I'm like, I mean, not Christian families, I don't think. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully not.
No.
But there's just so many opinions coming at these kids, when their brains, you look at the whole neuroscience issue, the psychology of children, their brains are not capable of making the decisions that we want them to make.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I often say about it, my daughter at 14 or 15 wouldn't have known what her favorite color was, let alone what sexuality she wanted to choose. I mean, there's a controversial statement right there, right? So this is crazy. I mean, the actual neuroscience tells us that well, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Not capable. The reason why we're charged a premium until we're 25 to have insurance is because insurance knows we're not capable of making good decisions behind the wheel of a car until we've got a few more years under our belt.
And some of us over that age, I'm still not sure of my favourite colour, JP. It's probably blue, given the suits that I wear. But yeah, some things I'm still working on, still a work in progress, which is good to see. And well, glad to hear you're also still a work in progress. God hasn't finished with you yet. Hey, if people wanted to find out more, and in particular wanting to give a shout out to the People Mechanics podcast, people can find out more about the ThinkFarm and the stuff that you do. What's the best way of doing that, JP?
Yeah, and we've got a brand new online course, a hybrid course, which is really catching on. And you can just go to the thinkfarm.org. It's a course designed for developing leaders and existing leaders. It's got some reflection supervision involved in it and some good learning. So love to have you join us. Yeah, www.thethinkfarm.org.
Now, I would encourage people that, particularly if you're a fan of thinking, you're one of the people who does it best. JP, thanks for being on the program today.
Nice to see you, man.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.